So now today we are looking at what? At grinding coffee. Very important indeed, people. So normally we do not make coffee beverages from the whole beans. Okay? So we have to grind coffee into small particles to allow infusion of flavors and aromas. You get? So you can't use just coffee as it is. You have to grind it into small particles to allow infusion to take place. You want to get the taste of coffee in water, the flavors and aromas in coffee. So coffee may be ground immediately, then packed. Like I told you last time, some of this coffee, sometimes we pack beans and sometimes we grind for customers who do not have what? Who do not have grinder back at home. So sometimes we grind coffee for them. So coffee is also sold in packed bean form to customers who have their own grinders and prefer to grind shortly before brewing the coffee. Okay? So there's customers that we sell coffee beans for them. They grind by themselves. They grind by themselves according to the device that they have back at home. Okay? Now, the grinding of coffee is critical factor in producing a good cup of coffee beans because, I want you to write this one down. The grinding of coffee is critical factor in producing a good cup of coffee because particle size, grinding of coffee is a critical factor in producing a good cup of coffee because particle size is equals to brew quality. Sorry, particle size is equals to brew strength. Particle size is equals to brew strength. Particle size is equals to brew strength. Particle uniformity is equals to brew quality. So particle size is equals to brew strength, while particle uniformity is equals to brew quality. So talking about strength, we know we don't expect you as a barista to say that coffee is bitter. We use the word strength. Nobody wants something bitter. Even when you're describing espresso, you don't say that espresso is a bitter coffee. No, you could say it's strong coffee, but we normally say it's bitter sweet. So particle size is equals to brew strength. What do we mean? The way you will grind coffee, the way you grind it will either give you a bitter coffee or coffee that is not bitter. So we use the word strong coffee or weak coffee. Coffee that is bitter, we say it's strong. Coffee that is not bitter, we say it is weak. So grinding, big or small, will contribute to the taste of coffee in terms of bitterness, the so-called the strong or weak coffee. When it comes to particle uniformity, listen to this. When it comes to particle uniformity, we normally have different types of grinders that we talked about yesterday. Which one and which one? The bar grinder and the blade grinder. We said that bar grinders are the best because they grind coffee in uniform particles. The particles are the same. While blade grinders, they grind some in big particles, some in small. You get? So when you make coffee from the blade grinder with some particles big and some small, then your coffee won't taste good because big particles will lead to weak coffee, while small particles will give you better coffee, isn't it? So that mixture of bitterness and not bitterness gives you a bad cup of coffee. So when you use the bar grinders that will give you uniform grind, that one will give you good cup of coffee. So the grinder that we're using is also very important. When it comes to particle size, the optimum size of the particles depends on the method of brewing. The size, the way you grind, like clay soil or loamy soil or sandy soil, will depend with the brewing method that you are using. Okay? If you take only one bean, if you take one bean, like this one bean, this one bean, this one bean, then you break it, this one. If you take this one bean and break it, 100 to 300 particles. This one bean, if you break it, 100 to 300 particles. That one would be suitable for the French press. And data, when you take one bean and break it, when you take one bean and break it into, when you take one bean and break it into 100 to 300 particles, that would be suitable for the French press. 100 to 300 particles, that would be suitable for the French press. This is the French press. So when you're using this one, 100 to 300 particles is suitable for the French press. Number two, 500 to 800 particles. 500 to 800 particles grinder, suitable for filter. 500 to 800 particles is equals to grind, suitable for filter. Filter. Imagine that. 3,500 particles. 3,500 particles. We are talking about one bean. 500 particles. That grinds 3,500 particles. That one, that grinder is suitable for the espresso machine that we always use. We normally say for the espresso you grind fine. So from just one bean, if you break it down into 3,500 particles, that will be good for the espresso machine. And then if you break it into 35,000 particles, that is suitable for the Turkish pot. 35,000 particles. That is grind is suitable for the Turkish pot. So one can see what a challenge it is to produce so many particles to a specific target particle size. Particles are measured in microns. Okay, particles are measured in microns. A hair is about 100 microns. When you purchase equipment to brew coffee, you know what grind is required to produce a good cup of coffee with a specific equipment. So like this equipment, we normally grind coarse for this one. For the V60, we normally grind medium. We are going to write them down at some point. For the Chemix, we normally grind medium coarse. For the mocha pot, we normally grind medium grind. For the siphon, we normally grind medium for it, and so on and so forth. So grinding will depend with the device you'll be using. You get? So if I were you, if I get a job today in a coffee shop, the first question I'll ask a barista is, can you tell me about the equipment you guys have in this coffee shop? Then the barista will be like, we have an espresso machine. You know how to grind for it? For that one, I'll grind. Fine. We have the French press. How do you grind for the French press? Coarse. And then we have the V60, for example. How do I grind? I grind for the V60? Medium grind. So it's very important to understand the device that you will be using for you to get it right when it comes to brewing coffee. So each brewing method has a specific particle size that optimizes extraction. I want you to write this down. Particles that are too small, particles that are too small will over extract resulting in bitterness and astringency. Particles that are too small will do what? Will do what? Over extract, leading to bitterness and astringency. Particles that are too big will under extract, leading to a weak cup of coffee, isn't it? Particles that are too big will under extract, resulting to a weak cup of coffee that lacks flavor and aroma. That lacks flavor and aroma. It's more or less what we did last time. You remember what we did last time? Over extraction and under extraction. Are we together? Particles that are too big will under extract, leading to weak cup of coffee and that lacks flavor and aroma. Okay? Then now you know that blade grinders, uh, swivel blades around which chop up the beans repeatedly, the blade grinders will give you an even grind and all that. Okay? Andika, packaging and storage of coffee. Right, packaging and storage of coffee.